Abandon, desert, quit. Roy abandoned his plan to go to college. Abide, accept, endure, remain faithful. Tom will abide by his promise to Mary. Abolish, do away with, put an end to. We abolished one-way streets last year. Abroad, outside of country, far and wide. He went abroad for his vacation. Absorb, soak up, feel great interest. We were absorbed in the scary movie. Absurd, foolish, not sensible. Running a red traffic light is absurd. Abundant, more than enough, plentiful. The grape harvest was abundant this year. Abuse, use wrongly, treat badly. Workers abusing their lunch hour are fired. Accurate, exactly right, without error. The count of horses was accurate. Acknowledge, recognize, give thanks for. I acknowledge lots of aid from my mentor. Addict, one who cannot break a habit. The drug addict was desperate for money. Adequate, as much as is needed. We had adequate rain to sprout flowers. Adolescent, youth, ages 13 to 21. The movie was aimed at adolescents. Alter, make different, change, vary. We alter our daily walks to avoid boredom. Amateur, not professional, unskillful. The amateur sprinter barely won the race. Ambush, surprise attack, hidden trap. Our team ambushed our opponents. Amend, correct, change. Truant boys need to amend their actions. Annual, once a year, lasting 1 year only. The annual parade was held on Saturday. Anticipate, expect, look forward to. We anticipate that sales will be brisk. Apologize, make excuse. I want to apologize for my loud singing. Appeal, to urge, attraction, interest. I appeal to you for generous donations. Appoint, decide on, choose, furnish, equip. We met for lunch at the appointed hour. The apartment was well appointed. Appropriate, suitable, fitting, for a purpose. Wear clothing appropriate for the weather. Architect, one who plans, designs, creates. The architect designed a new bridge. Assemble, gather or bring together. The team will assemble on the field today. Attract, draw near, wine interest. Bird baths attract birds in the hot summer. Audible, able to be heard. The siren was audible throughout the base. Authority, right or power to do something. The policeman has the authority to arrest. Avoid, keep away from, shun. I try to avoid crowds during cold season. Aware, knowing, realizing. The supervisor was aware of the theft. Awesome, great fear, wonder, respect. The Grand Canyon is an awesome sight. Awkward, clumsy, embarrassing. It was awkward to meet my old boss again. Bachelor, man who has not married. Married men envy their bachelor friends. Baffle, stymie, frustrate by confusing. The police were baffled by the set of clues. Baggage, luggage, bags. We packed our baggage before the trip. Bait, used to attract, torment unkindly. A shoe sale is a bait to get me to shop. Walt baited me into starting an argument. Ballot, paper used for voting. The ballot had 2 candidates listed. Ban, prohibit, forbid. The law placed a ban on Sunday drinking. Beckon, signal by hand or head, attract. Wave your hand to beckon the waiter. Beneficiary 1 receiving something good. Jill was the beneficiary of good advice. Betray show unwillingly. Her shaking hands betrayed her fears. Bewildered, confused completely. I was bewildered by all the sales ads. Bigamy, 2 wives husbands at once. The jury found him guilty of bigamy. Biography, written story of a person's life. Jill read the biography of John Glenn. Blend, mix together thoroughly. Green is a blend of yellow and blue. Blunder, stupid mistake, stumble. Cutting the wire was a serious blunder. Brawl, noisy quarrel or fight. The card game ended in a brawl. Brutal, savage, cruel. The hail fell with brutal force on the car. Budget, income and expense plan. We live by a monthly budget. Bulky, large, taking up much space. The bicycle crate was bulky and heavy. Burden, weight or load that is carried. The burden on the donkey was heavy. Calamity, great misfortune, trouble. The house fire was a calamity for me. Calculate, compute the amount. George will calculate his test average. Campus, grounds of a school. The trees on campus are blooming. Cancel, wipe out, call off. Paying your bill will cancel your debt. Dan had to cancel his trip to Greece. Candidate, one who runs for an office. The candidates will debate tonight. Capacity, amount of room inside. The room capacity is 24 people. Capsule, small case or covering. We put mementos into the time capsule. Captive, held as a prisoner, restrained. My uncle was held captive during the war. Casual, accidental, unplanned, informal. The casual meeting resulted in a contract. Cautious, very careful, not taking chances. We were cautious around the wild boar. Cease, stop. Thomas asked us to cease our arguing. Censor, one who condemns, disapproves. The censor disliked too much violence. Century, 100 years. This is the hottest day in a century. Challenge, confrontation, question, dispute. The lawyer challenged a witness in court. Charity, aid, institution to help the needy. Donate to your favorite charity. Chiropractor, one who realigns bones. The chiropractor made me feel better. Cinema, movie theater, film. We will go to the cinema on opening night. This cinema had too much violence. Circulate, go from one to another. The host circulated among his party guests. Clergy, workers in the field of religion. The clergy often vote conservative. Client, customer, patron. The lawyer took papers to his client. Coeducational, boys and girls in school. Coeducational classes are more fun. Coincide, same place or idea. Our plans coincide exactly. Collapse, breakdown, fail suddenly. After my uncle's death, my aunt collapsed. Colleague, associate, fellow worker. I met my colleagues for dinner after work. Collide, come together with force. The iceberg collided with the ship. Commence, begin, start. The meeting commenced at noon. Commend, praise, valor, safekeeping. I commend you for your bravery. He commends his son to me for a year. Commuter, one who travels far to work. My aunt is a commuter during the week. Compel, force, demand. The father will compel his son to study law. Compete, try hard to get something. The marksman will compete for awards. Complacent, pleased with oneself, smug. The actor was complacent and rude. Comprehend, understand. Listen carefully to comprehend the lyrics. Comprehensive, covering completely. The math test was comprehensive. Conceal, hide. I cannot conceal my anger from you. Conclude, end, finish, decide. We will conclude our meeting on time. Confident, certain, sure, firmly believing. Tom was confident that I would marry him. Confine, keep in, hold in. The pigs were confined in a pen. Confirm, verify, prove correct. Walt will call to confirm his reservation. Conflict, direct opposition, warfare. The military stopped the conflict. Consent, agree, give permission, approval. He will consent to our plan to eat at home. Consider, think about in order to decide. We will consider seeing a movie tonight. Contagious, easily spread among people. The flu is very contagious. Corpse, dead body. The corpse had been buried on Tuesday. Crafty, tricky, deceptive, shrewd. We made a crafty plan to win the battle. Culprit, person guilty of a crime. The evidence proved who the culprit was. Customary, usual. It is customary to kiss the new baby. Data, facts, information. We needed more data to make a decision. Daze, confuse, stun. The loud noise dazed me for a minute. Debate, discussion for and against a topic. The debate was heated over traffic laws. Debtor, person who owes something. After the loan, I became his debtor. Decade, 10 years. I haven't seen my brother in a decade. Deceive, mislead, lie to. The man deceived us with white lies. Decrease, become less. We want to decrease the travel costs. Defect, a flaw, leave without permission. The new tires have a dangerous defect. Oscar defected to work in Russia. Defiant, challenging, openly resisting. He stood on the hill, defiant and angry. Defraud, take money, etc. by cheating. The thief tried to defraud the wealthy man. Dejected, in low spirits, sad. Howard felt dejected after he failed his test. Deliberate, intended, carefully on purpose. The bank robber deliberately shot the teller. Delinquent, late, failing to obey laws. The boy was delinquent in paying his fine. Denounce, condemn in public disapproval. The man denounced his son for stealing. Dense, closely packed together, thick. The dense leaves made the forest dark. Depart, go away, change, die. We will depart from home in the morning. Teens depart from their parents' teachings. Depict, illustrate, describe. The paintings depict the beauty of Spain. Deprive, take or keep something away. The parents deprived their son of a car. Descend, go down to a lower level. Be careful as you descend the rocky cliffs. Despite, in spite of, nevertheless. Despite his broken arm, Tom drove his car. Detect, find out, discover. The lab test will detect why Mary is tired. Detest, dislike very much, hate. Lydia detested her roommate's dog. Detour, roundabout way. The accident forced us to take a detour. Devise, think out, plan, invent. He devised a way to go to the party. Devour, eat hungrily greedily. The lion devoured the young gazelle. Dilemma, difficult choice. The dilemma is which car to buy. Diminish, make smaller. Lack of rain will diminish our crop. Disaster, great misfortune. The tsunami in Japan was a disaster. Discard, throw aside. He discarded the obsolete map. Disclose, uncover, make known. The evidence will disclose the truth. Dismal, dark and depressing. The rain made the weather dismal. Dispute, disagree, oppose, debate. The lawyer disputed the details of the law. Disrupt, upset, break apart, interrupt. Two salesmen disrupted our meeting. Distress, great pain or sorrow. The man was distressed by the test results. Document, supporting paperwork, proof. Caswell can document his dying wishes. Doubt, not believe, feel uncertain about. I doubt the sun will shine today. Drastic, extreme, violent and rapid. Drastic actions reduce the crime wave. Dread, look forward with great fear. I dread taking final exams. Drench, wet thoroughly, soak. Her shoes were drenched by the rain. Drought, long period of dry weather. The 6-year drought caused a famine. Duplicate, exact copy, repeat exactly. I will try to duplicate her bread recipe. Dwindle, become smaller, shrink. Our hopes dwindled after the shipwreck. Economical, not wasting time or money. My new car is fun to drive and economical. Editor, one who corrects others' writing. The editor marked on my fashion article. Elevate, raise, lift up. Fred elevated the platform for the concert. Eliminate, get rid of, eliminate, omit. We want to eliminate clutter in our homes. Embrace, hug. The father embraced his son at the party. Emerge, come out, become obvious. The details of the party will emerge soon. Employee, person who works for pay. The employees met their new boss today. Encourage, give support to, foster. I will encourage your interest in music. Endure, undergo, bear, stand. Losing our food was too much to endure. Enormous, extremely large, huge. The elephant tusk was enormous. Envy, jealousy. The woman felt envy towards her sister. Epidemic, widespread outbreak of disease. Sneezing can cause an epidemic of colds. Essential, necessary, very important. Boots are essential during snowy winters. Estimate, evaluate, calculate the amount. Please estimate the cost of car repairs. Evade, get away by trickery or cleverness. We managed to evade my sister all day. Event, important occurrence. The wedding was the event of the year. Evidence, something that furnishes proof. The evidence proved that Linda was guilty. Exaggerate, overstate, make greater. I was exaggerating about having 9 brothers. The plaid dress exaggerates my large body. Excel, do better than, surpass, outdo. Dawn wanted to excel in mathematics class. Excessive, too much, too great, extreme. Her praise for the apple pie was excessive. Exempt, free from obligation duty. The teacher was exempt from jury duty. Exhaust, empty completely, use up, tire. I have exhausted all my resources now. Playing ball will exhaust the children. Exhibit, display, show. The art exhibit included many watercolors. Expand, swell, increase in size. The current school zone will be expanded. Expensive, costly, high-priced. Gold jewelry is expensive in the USA. Explore, examine, look at closely. He went with me to explore the cave. Expose, uncover, show openly. Plants will die if left exposed to icy rain. We want to expose our children to the arts. Extract, pull out with effort. The dentist will extract the rotten tooth. Famine, drastic shortage, starvation. The famine caused a rise in theft. Feeble, weak. The elderly lady was fragile and feeble. Feminine, womanly, girlish. The baby had a feminine, sweet smile. Fertile, able to produce abundantly. College provides ideas for fertile minds. Fiction, a story that is imagined, invented. Novels are kept in the fiction section. Fierce, savage, wild. The 2 swimmers felt fierce competition. Final, last, deciding. Lana ran until she reached the final lap. Finance, money matters, fund. The finance clerk will issue your check. We hope to be able to finance our car. Flee, run away quickly. The refugee was forced to flee his home. Flexible, easily bend, willing to yield. Our travel plans were flexible this year. forbid, prohibit, ban, make a rule against. The boss will forbid wearing jeans to work. Fortunate, lucky, unexpected good luck. We were fortunate to buy the last tickets. Fragile, delicate, easily damaged, ruined. The young bird was small and fragile. Frank, open, sincere, straightforward. Diane was frank about the wreck of the car. Frequent, happening often, repeatedly. He was a frequent visitor to the orphanage. Frigid, very cold. The shed was frigid in winter. Fugitive, refugee, runaway. Vera was a fugitive from the orphanage. Gallant, brave, showing respect for women. The driver gallantly gave the girl a ride. Glance, look at quickly. She recognized him at first glance. Gleam, flash or beam of light. The clouds revealed a gleam of moonlight. Glimpse, short, quick view. We took a glimpse at the sleeping baby. Gloomy, dark, dim, in low spirits. My mom was gloomy after the car wreck. Grateful, thankful, appreciative. Lady was grateful for her parents' help. Guide, direct, manage, one who leads. Our forest ranger will guide us on our hike. Hardship, hard to bear, difficulty. We all face hardships in life. Harmony, agreement, accord. My cousins lived together in harmony. Harsh, unpleasant, rough, sharp. The boss's treatment was needlessly harsh. Harvest, gather in, collect when ripe. We will harvest apples in November. Hasty, hurried, quick but not accurate. His decision to move was hasty. Hazy, misty, smoky, unclear. The early rain left the mountains hazy. Heed, give careful attention to, take notice. Cow will heed my warning against drugs. Heir, one who succeeds or inherits. Pella is the heir to the last class president. Bill is the only heir to his father's estate. Hesitate, be slow to act, reluctant. He hesitated before giving his answer. Hinder, hold back, make difficult. Rain will hinder our hike up the mountain. Homicide, murder. The police investigated the triple homicide. Horrid, dreadful, disagreeable, offensive. The weather for the cruise was horrid. Humid, moist, damp. The flowers like the humid weather. Identify, recognize, prove to be. Fingerprints help identify the criminals. Idle, not busy, lazy. The teenagers spent an idle afternoon. Idol, item that is worshipped, loved. Elvis was the idol of many teenagers. Ignite, set on fire. One careless act can ignite a forest fire. Ignore, pay no attention to, disregard. Lisa ignored Tom's request for a date. Illegal, against the law. It is illegal to hit medical personnel. Illustrate, clarify with examples, pictures. Let me illustrate how to tie a bow tie. Indifference, lack of interest or attention. Sarah's fears were met with indifference. Ingenious, clever, artless. The plot for the new play was ingenious. Inhabit, live in. Wolves inhabit the desert in Texas. Innovative, fresh, clever, with new ideas. Her designs for cars were innovative. Insist, demand, firmly ask. Parents insist that their children eat peas. Jagged, unevenly cut or torn. The jeans had become jagged on the hem. Jealous, want what someone else has. I am jealous of your good grades. Jeopardize, risk, endanger. Rain can jeopardize our vacation plans. Jest, joke, laugh at, mock. Remarks about his nose were made in jest. Jolly, merry, full of fun. The girl had a jolly personality. Joy, delight, great happiness. The pony ride brought joy to the kids. Journalist, person who writes edits news. The journalist wrote about my father's life. Justice, fairness, equity. The judge made sure that justice prevailed. Juvenile, youthful, young boys and girls. The dress was too juvenile for me. This movie is for a juvenile audience. Keen, sharp, eager, intense. The cat has a keen sense of direction. Keg, small barrel. We open the keg of pickles. Kneel, go down on one's knees. The knight kneeled before the queen. Lack, have not enough of something. I lack the ambition to practice the piano. Lecture, speech, scolding. The professor ended his lecture on time. Mothers lecture their kids about smoking. Legend, story from the past, famous person. I like Legends of the Knights of England. King Arthur is my favorite legend. Legible, easy to read, plain and clear. Your handwriting is firm and legible. The car lease was not very legible. Linger, stay on, leave slowly, reluctantly. The smell of fish lingered for days. Logical, reasonable, based on facts. It is logical to save for an emergency. Lottery, scheme to win by game or chance. Money spent on the lottery is money lost. Loyalty, faithfulness. The man showed his loyalty to his family. Lubricate, add oil grease to operate better. The car gears were lubricated at the garage. Lunatic, crazy person, extremely foolish. A lunatic thinks that he can rule the world. To magnify, make an object look bigger than it is. A microscope will magnify the specimen. Maim, cripple, disable, cause loss of limb. The loss of funding will maim our project. Accidents leave workers sick and maimed. Maintain, keep up, carry on. We will maintain as high standards. Majestic, grand, dignified, kingly. The ballroom was spacious and majestic. Majority, larger number, more than half. The majority vote was positive. Manipulate, handle or treat with skill. Peter can manipulate the heavy saw. Masculine, manly, boyish. The saddle was rugged and masculine. Massive, big and heavy, large and solid. The new ship looked massive and beautiful. Matrimony, married life. The wedding is the start of matrimony. Mature, ripe, fully grown or developed. The grapes will mature before harvest day. Maximum, greatest amount. He will be given the maximum punishment. Mediocre, average, ordinary. It was a mediocre, boring day. Menace, threat. The menace of global warming is real. Merit, goodness, worth, value. The merit of studying is obvious. Microscope, instrument to enlarge things. We looked at the fly under the microscope. Migrate, move from place to place. The birds migrate each fall and spring. Miniature, on a small scale. Rudy got a miniature car for his birthday. Minimum, lowest or least possible amount. This job pays minimum wage. Minority, smaller number, less than half. The minority group wanted to be heard. Miserly, stingy, hoarding valuables. The old man was mean and miserly. Misfortune, bad luck. Gina had the misfortune of being short. Molest, interfere with trouble, disturb. The motorcycle gang molested the crowd. Monarch, king or queen, ruler. The monarch rode in a fine car. Morality, virtue, right wrong of conduct. The judge decided the morality of the act. Morgue, storage place for unknown dead. The doctor placed John Doe in the morgue. Morsel, small bite, mouthful. We ate every morsel of our dinner. Mortal, human, subject to death. The mortals gave gifts to their gods. The criminal inflicted mortal wounds. Mount, get up on. The cowboy mounted the wild horse. Mourn, grieve, feel, show sorrow for. The widow mourned for her dead husband. Multitude, great number, a crowd. Jerry caught a multitude of fish. The band gave water to the multitude. Mumble, speak indistinctly. The professor mumbled during his lecture. Municipal, of a city or state. We will visit the municipal offices. Mute, silent, unable to speak. Larry was mute after his throat surgery. Mythology, stories, legends about nature. The study of mythology is popular. Narcotic, numbing drug causing sleep. The dentist gave a narcotic for the pain. Negative, saying no in the manus. Ken's answer to the question was negative. Our bank balance was negative. Neglect, give too little attention to. If you neglect your plants, they will die. Neutral, not on one side or the other. The judge remained neutral during the trial. Nimble, sure-footed, quick-moving. The cat was nimble as he climbed the cliff. Nominate, appoint, suggest to an office. Valerie was nominated to run for clerk. Nourish, feed, foster development of. Music lessons will nourish your talent. Novel, new, strange, long fiction story. Visiting Paris was a novel idea. We read our new novels during vacation. Numb without feeling deadened. My hand felt numb after the car accident. Numerous, very many, several. Her reasons for moving were numerous. Oath, a curse, promise that a thing is true. The sailor cursed the knot that came untied. Obedient, willing to do what one is told. Tim was an obedient student. Obesity, extremely overweight. Many Americans struggle with obesity. Observant, quick to notice, watchful. The guard was observant over his captives. Obstacle, obstruction, item in the way. The accident was a traffic obstacle. Obtain, get. Obtain your refunds at the service desk. Obvious, easily seen or understood, clear. The solution to our problem was obvious. Occupant, person in a place, position. The occupants of our car are hungry. Opponent, person on the opposite side. Gil was my opponent in the debate. Opt, choose, favor, select. We will opt to see a movie. The girls opted to see Cruise. Oral, spoken, of the mouth. The English test was an oral project. Dentists take care of our oral health. Outlaw, criminal, to declare unlawful. The outlaw robbed the bank in Atlanta. We want to outlaw guns in our city. Pacify, calm, quiet down, bring peace to. A pizza should pacify the hungry teens. Panic, sudden, overpowering fear. The gunshot caused the crowd to panic. Parole, conditional freedom. The prisoner was released on parole. Partial, not complete, not total. We saw the sun during the partial eclipse. Patriotic, showing love of country. The military band played patriotic music. Pauper, very poor person. Not every street person is a pauper. Pedestrian, one who goes about on foot. Watch out for pedestrians by the road. Penalize, punish. The boss will penalize me for being late. Penetrate, get into or through, pierce. The sun could not penetrate the clouds. Pension, regular payment after retiring. The major saves his pension each month. Peril, danger. Whitewater rafting is perilous. Perish, to die violently prematurely. The plants perished without enough water. Persist, continue, refuse to stop or change. If you persist in this diet, you will get sick. Persuade, win over, make willing. I will persuade you to bake a cake. Pierce, get into or through, penetrate. The nail pierced the wood on the door. Pioneer, one who does something first. Mark was a pioneer in selling phones here. Placard, posted notice in a public place. Cal made a placard for the dog he found. Pledge, promise. I will pledge to help with a charity ball. Pollute, make dirty, corrupt. Industrial waste will pollute our lakes. Ponder, consider carefully. The judge will ponder the fraud case. Popular, liked by most people. Opening a daycare was a popular decision. Population: people in a city town. The population here continues to decline. Possible: able to be. Come to dinner today if possible. Postpone: delay, but off to a later time. We will postpone our wedding until winter. Potential: possibility, ability for growth. Sparks created the potential for a fire. The military helped me reach my potential. Precaution: care taken to avoid bad events. The boy took precautions with the matches. Proceed: go in front of, come before. The dog preceded the man down the hall. Blooms preceded fruit on our plum tree. Predict: tell beforehand. The men predicted the winner of the race. Prejudice: harm, injure, unfair, bad opinion. The lawyer tried to prejudice the jury. Preoccupied, distracted. The bull was preoccupied by the clown. Preserve: keep safe from harm, protect. We want to preserve our forest on the hill. Prior: coming before, earlier. The girl was unhappy prior to the dance. The criminal had a prior conviction. Probe: search into, investigate. The police officer probed for evidence. Proceed: move forward, go on after a stop. The game can proceed when the rain stops. Prohibit: forbid by law or authority. Our state prohibits picking the bluebonnet. Prominent: well-known, important. Prominent businessmen come here to shop. Promote: raise in rank, help develop. We will promote safe cell phone use. Prompt: quick, on time, at once, remind. The mailman was prompt in his deliveries. Kim was prompted to get a wedding gift. Prosecute: bring before a court. The lawyer will prosecute the thief. Prosper: be successful, have good fortune. Wanda's new business prospered at last. Provide: supply, prepare for. The mothers will provide the toys. Pursue: follow, try to get. Ralph pursued his dream to an artist. I will pursue a degree in mathematics. Qualify: become fit, show ability. Training is needed to qualify for the job. Quantity: amount. We don't have that quantity of roses here. Quench: drown or put out, put an end to. Water will quench your thirst. Quota: share of a total. The salesman sold his quota of used cars. Quote: repeat exactly. We want to quote the politician's remarks. Radical: extreme. Radical candidates don't win elections. Rage: violent anger, intense brief fad. The girl's father left the concert in a rage. Short skirts were the rage in the 60s. Rave: speak wildly or with enthusiasm. Ken raved about his new convertible. Recede: go back, withdraw. Flood waters receded after the rain stopped. Recent: done or occurring not long ago. Her recent illness kept her at home in bed. Recline: lie down, stretch out, lean back. My headache will go away if I recline. Redeem: pay to recover, turn in. Poker players redeem their chips daily. Refer, send direct for information. The man referred the tourists to their guide. Reform, make better, remove faults. New laws will reform the traffic system. Refrain, hold back. Refrain from speeding to avoid a ticket. Rehabilitate, restore as it was. Work programs will rehabilitate criminals. Reject, refuse to accept, deny. Nancy rejected Bob's offer of help. Relate, to narrate, tell, have a connection. John will relate his experiences in Brazil. His bad mood is related to his illness. Relieve, make less, ease. The pill will relieve your headache. Reluctant, unwilling. Mel was reluctant to sell his home to me. Repetition, doing or saying again and again. Repetition helps you to memorize a poem. Reptile, cold-blooded creeping animal. Lizards, snakes and turtles are reptiles. Resent, feel injured or angry. I resent the way the police treated me. Resign, give up, submit. The dean will resign his job tonight. Carrie will resign herself to studying. Resist, oppose, strive, act against. We could not resist eating a piece of pie. Respond, answer, react. The police responded to the trouble call. Resume, begin again, go on. Lectures will resume after the tests end. Retain, keep, hire by paying a fee. Kim will retain her job for 1 year. The lady retained a lawyer for her son. Reveal, make known. The teacher will reveal who passed the test. Revise, change, alter, bring up to date. We had to revise our plans for a vacation. Rival, competitor, near equal. Cal and I were rivals in the car race. Roam, wander with no specific plan. Wild deer roam on the open prairie. Rural, in the country. We prefer the rural life. Sacred, holy, worthy of respect. The sacred relics were stored in a case. Scald, burn with hot liquid or steam. Aaron scalded his hand on the radiator. Scarce, hard to get, rare. The 1912 edition of the book was scarce. Scorch, burn slightly, criticize sharply. The toast was dry and scorched. We heard a scorching lecture on lying. Scowl, frown, lowering eyebrows in anger. The mother scowled at her lazy child. Security, without danger, care, or fear. The captain felt the security of the harbor. Sensitive, responsive, easily offended. Dogs are sensitive to the moods of owners. Craig was sensitive about his divorce. Severity, harshness, violence, strictness. The severity of the penalty was a surprise. Shriek, scream. The girls shrieked on the carnival ride. Shrill, high-pitched, sharp, piercing sound. The wild bird had a shrill chirp. Signify, mean, be a sign of. This wedding ring will signify my love. Sinister, evil, dishonest, frightening. The sinister music scared the audience. Site, position or place of something. The architect visited the building site. Skim. Remove from the top. Read quickly. The cream has been skimmed off. Skim over your notes before the test. Slender, long, thin, slight. Melanie's skirt was slender and black. Snub. Act coldly towards. Bill snubbed his old girlfriend. Soar, rise, fly or glide. The politician's ratings soared in May. Birds like to catch the wind and soar. Solitary, alone, single, only. Dan chose a solitary life on his boat. Soothe, quiet, calm, comfort. Milk will soothe the crying baby. Source, point of origin, maker. The source of the river is in the mountains. Spontaneous, spur of the moment. Spontaneous cheering greeted the team. Squander, waste, spend foolishly. Harry squandered his inheritance. Stationary, set, standing still, unchanging. This car has been stationary for months. Subsequent, later, following, coming after. The girls sang well in subsequent classes. Subside, grow less, sink to a lower level. Stress will subside when the project ends. The water subsided days after the flood. Summit, highest point, top. We reached the summit at sundown. Surpass, do better than, excel. Henry will surpass his brother in height. Surplus, excess, extra, more than is needed. We will sell our surplus corn to Peru. Survive, to remain alive, outlive. John is survived by his widow, Mary. Swarm, crowd or great number. The swarm of bees attacked Andrew. Symbol, character representing something. The symbol for peace is a dove. Sympathetic, feeling kindly towards. Anne was sympathetic to the scared kids. Tact, ability to say the right thing. James used tact when his wife complained. Talent, natural ability. Her musical talents are enjoyed by all. Temperate, moderate, not hot or cold. The weather here is temperate now. Tempest, violent storm with wind. The ship was tossed by the tempest. Tempt, test, invite. This pie will tempt you to break your diet. Tendency, leaning, moving in a direction. She has a tendency to overeat. Theory, reasoned explanation or guess. My theory about the theft was correct. Thorough, complete, all that is needed. The man gave the car thorough cleaning. Threat, sign or cause of possible evil harm. The alarm signaled a threat of fire. Thrifty, saving, careful in spending. Nuns on fixed incomes need to be thrifty. Thrust, push with force. The fireman thrust the door open. Toil, hard work, move with difficulty. Road crews toil in the hot sun. Topic, subject to think, write or talk about. The topic of the meeting was traffic. Torment, annoy very much, great pain. Failing my test will torment me for days. Torrent, violent, rushing stream, flood. We escape the torrent by clinging to trees. Tradition, beliefs, opinions, customs. I continue my family's traditions. Tragedy, very sad or terrible happening. The hurricane was a serious tragedy. Traitor, one who betrays his country. The sailor was accused of being a traitor. Transmit, send over, pass along. We will transmit the agenda via email. Trifle, small amount, think of little value. The men paid a trifle for the bracelet. Tumult, noise, uproar, violent disturbance. We heard the singing amid the tumult. Typical, usual, representative. Bill wore a typical plastic hat in the rain. Tyrant, cruel, unjust master or ruler. The tyrant hit his slaves over the head. Unaccustomed, not used to something. Will was unaccustomed to waiting for me. Unanimous, complete agreement, harmony. We were unanimous in wanting coffee. Undeniable, cannot be questioned. His loyalty is undeniable. Underdog, one who is expected to lose. My horse was the underdog in the race. Underestimate, set too low value or rate. My boss underestimated my talents. Undernourished, not sufficiently fed. The orphan was dirty and undernourished. Undoubtedly, certainly, beyond doubt. The team undoubtedly has the best kicker. Unearth, dig up, discover, find out. The senator unearthed a terrorist plot. Uneasy, disturbed, anxious, restless. I felt uneasy after my house was robbed. Uneventful, quiet, without incident. We had an uneventful evening at home. Unforeseen, unexpected. We had unforeseen trouble on the trip. Unify, make one, unite. We will unify our efforts to raise funds. Unique, without equal, one of a kind. His painting of the dog is unique. Unite, join together, become one. Marriage will unite these two families. Unruly, hard to control. The crowd was unruly at the sports bar. Unstable, not firm, easily moved, changed. The kitten was unstable when he walked. Untidy, messy, cluttered. Earl's desk was untidy. Upholstery, furniture coverings, cushions. The upholstery was soft and comfortable. Urban, having to do with cities, towns. Urban sprawl has taken many old farms. Urgent, demanding immediate attention. The doctor gave urgent medical care. Utensil, useful containers and tools. The kitchen was filled with new utensils. Utilize, make use of. He utilized the car to move the television. Utter, speak, complete. She was too shy to utter a word. The award was an utter surprise. Vacant, empty, not filled. The chair seemed to be vacant. Vaccinate, inoculate against disease. The nurse will vaccinate against smallpox. Vague, not clear, distinct, not definite. Gil was vague on the details of the trip. Vain, having too much pride, useless. The handsome man was vain and lazy. We tried in vain to stop the water leak. Valiant, brave, courageous. The knights were valiant in their actions. Valid, sound, true, supported by facts. Her claim to the throne was valid. Valor, bravery, courage. The soldier's valor won him a medal. Vandal, one who deliberately destroys. The Vandals poured paint over the statue. Vanish, disappear suddenly. The cakes will disappear at the party. Vapor, water in the air. Jet engines leave a vapor trail. Variety, number of different things. We amuse ourselves in a variety of ways. Vast, very great, enormous. Larry's knowledge of history is vast. Vein, mood, blood vessel, correct theme. The scary movie put me in a weary vein. Gold veins were discovered in California. Ventilate, freshen the air, discuss openly. The fans help ventilate the attic. Teachers want to ventilate their complaints. Venture, a daring or dangerous act. Piracy is a money-making venture. Verdict, decision of a jury, judgment. The guilty verdict sent the criminal to jail. Verify, confirm, prove correct. We want to verify your account number. Vermin, small unhealthful animals, insects. Fleas, rats, and cockroaches are vermin. Verse, single multiple lines of poetry. Bible. Verse is best enjoyed when read aloud. Vertical, up and down line. The vertical blinds were closed. Vessel, ship, hollow container. The vessel sailed around the island. Ray stored his wine in a vessel. Vicinity, region nearby, neighborhood. My brother lives in your vicinity. Vicious, evil, wicked, savage. The vicious dog attacked the mailman. Victorious, being a winner in a contest. Time was victorious in the 10K race. Vigor, physical strength, force. Most children love vigorous activities. Villain, very wicked person. The villain tried to steal the statue. Violent, showing strong, rough force. A hurricane is a violent storm. Visible, able to be seen. The rainbow was visible from the valley. Vision, sight, prophetic dream. I wear glasses to improve my vision. His dad appeared to him in a vision. Vital, necessary for life. Food and water are vital for our trip. Vocation, occupation, profession, trade. Sam will make farming his vocation. Volunteer, willing person, act on freely. We need several volunteers to set up chairs. The soldiers will volunteer to work today. Vulnerable, sensitive, open to attack. The baby was vulnerable to the flu. The valley was vulnerable to bombing. Wager, bet. My dad and I wager on the ball games. Wail, loud and long cry of grief, pain. The mourners wailed after John's death. Warden, person in charge of a prison. The warden interviewed each prisoner. Worry, on one's guard, cautious. With salesmen, it's important to be wary. Worry, tired. Nick was worried after flying from Boston. Weird, mysterious, unearthly. Bob looked weird in his goblin costume. Whirling, turning around and around. After the ride stopped whirling, I got sick. Wholesale, less than retail price, large quantity. The wholesale price for the CD was $9.95. Wobble, move unsteadily from side to side. The top wobbled until it stopped. Wretched, miserable, dismal. I lost my rings and feel wretched.